Cornerback Christian Gonzalez skipping the OTAs for the New England Patriots. He's entering year 4 of his contract. The former first-rounder has a fifth-year option that pays $18.1 million in 2027, due to make $2.3 million this season. That's the pressure point under the current rookie wage scale for first-round picks. That fourth year is very affordable for the teams. But the player is eligible for the first time for a second contract. Used to be after 2 years. Back in your era, Devin, entering the league in 2010, you were the last class that could do a new contract after 2 years. As of 2011, it's after 3 years. So he's in that sweet spot where he can get a new deal, but the Patriots are thinking $2.3 million is pretty good for us. We'd like to kick this can a year. They haven't gotten a deal done. The fact that he's not there, the fact that there's no deal, it tells you two sides are not close, or a deal would already be done.
Yeah, and you know, it really got highlighted this weekend when Drake May had his May Day celebrity softball game, and who's there front and center? Christian Gonzalez supporting a teammate. So he's there, or he's not there and he flew in, or whatever it is, showed up for that. And, you know, it caused everyone to talk about, well, he's around, he's having fun with his teammates, but he's letting the message be known that I want to get paid. And, you know, it was talked about a few months ago when he was at a Celtics game and the camera, you know, panned to him in the audience, and he gave the fingers, letting them know, like, hey, I want to get paid. And I understand. I think for Christian Gonzalez, he got banged up his first year. He's gone out there. He's played at a high level. And the worst thing that happened for this team, you go and you're not very competitive in the Super Bowl game and you lose, but Christian Gonzalez was outstanding for everyone to watch that game. And the plays that he had against Jackson Smith and Jigba, making plays, showing how he can play, it just put a spotlight on that. And the guy's a player, and he's done that for this team. No matter when they had seasons when they won only 4 games, he still, you know, stuck out of being a great player. And I think when you watch those other top corners get paid, Stingley's gotten paid, Patrick Surtain has gotten paid, you know I'm next, but I don't want to wait. And I get it. I think for these guys going out there, each time you go out there, you run the risk of getting hurt. And when you get hurt, there's a chance the money that you could have gotten paid will never come back again. So for him, he needs to have a plan and hold out and be on the sideline as long as possible. And I think for me, the interesting thing will be, does he take this into training? Does this go long enough that it goes into training camp where he's just standing around that training camp and he's there, he's present, but he's not actually participating in, you know, 11-on-11 or 7-on-7s, and maybe he's just doing individual drills and conditioning. That, to me, is going to be, how does this new New England staff, how do they handle these things that, you know, for so long in New England didn't tend to be an issue. Belichick handled things a certain way, and the times were a little bit different, and you either were with it or you weren't, and they got rid of you. Now we're going to see, how does New England handle, you draft a guy, you have a guy in your system who's outplayed his contract, and now he wants to get paid. What do you do next?
And you make a great point about the possibility for what we call the hold-in, where the player shows up and consciously does not put himself at any type of physical risk until he gets his contract. It used to be a guy would just hold out. The CBA adjustments have made that more and more expensive for players. There are also ramifications as it relates to eligibility for free agency. But, you know, one possibility, and we don't hear much about this because we don't have the same kind of media access to off-season sessions as we have to training camp, but there's wisdom, I think, in being there for the off-season workouts, but holding in from any on-field stuff, but working out in the facility. You're going to work out anyway. You protect yourself against an injury. If you would have some fluke thing happens, nobody knows what could go down, but you're covered. You have insurance for your salary if that freak accident happens in the building. But the message is, you want me here? Pay me. I don't have to be here. I'm not going to be here. If you want me here, you're going to have to pay me. And the Patriots understand what they're going to have to do with Christian Gonzalez. And the other part of it, too, Devin, it never gets any cheaper. It never gets any cheaper when you do the deal. But I've said this before with Justin Jefferson. I said it with Jamar Chase. I think it's true of any of these guys who become great players. Look at that fourth-year payment, because the bulk of the money is paid out in the signing bonus for a first-round pick. By the time you get to year 4, it is peanuts. I remember when Kyler Murray was entering year 4, and his agent wrote that manifesto on Twitter. He needed a magnifying glass to read about how Kyler Murray's not playing in year 4 without a new contract. That same mindset applies to Bijan Robinson of the Falcons, Jahmyr Gibbs of the Lions. You are getting peanuts year 4. We said the same thing about Micah Parsons the year before he was traded. Micah, don't play for $3 million. The team loves that. To get another year of service on the front end of a guy's prime for peanuts in comparison to what you have paid and what you will be paying, I think it's hard to get teams to give up the ability to get a bargain for year 4. The Texans have shown they'll do it. With C.J. Stroud, we don't know what's going to happen, but they did it with Derek Stingley. They did it with Will Anderson. Pay your guys after 3 years. The Seahawks did it with Jackson Smith and Jigba. Pay your guy after 3 years, even if you were looking at a very cheap 4th year on his first-round contract.
Yeah, and I think that's the key of, too, like, don't let the relationship go sour over you knowing that you're going to want to sign this player back. And I do agree with you. I think it's more value to the team, too, of when you're in the building and you're working out, it becomes something that everyone has to talk about. When you're not there, the front office has to deal with it, the coaching staff has. But when you're there and your players and your teammates see you working out, showing up, doing all of those things, and then just not going on field, it creates this kind of urgency from the other guys of saying, man, like, we're close to being able to practice the way we want, but can they just get this deal done with Gonzalez so he can get back on the field, and so Kevin Byard can be out here and he can see what the full secondary is going to look like since he's a new guy. And I think when you're there and you're not fully there, it's just a reminder for the team to see you standing on the sideline all the time. To see that, I think, makes it harder. I remember one of the years where Gilmore wanted, a change to his contract, and we go throughout training camp, and now we're getting ready for week 1, and we go on the practice field, and he's on the sideline. I'm like, hey, bro, what you doing? Let's go. First team's out here. He's like, nah, I'm down today. And it was like, huh? And you realize, like, oh, they got to figure out his contract before he takes the field week 1. So now every time we were meeting, we're in a captain's meeting. I'm like, hey, coach, what's happening here? Are we going to have him? Because, he's pretty damn good. When he's out there, we're shifting coverage the other way. If he's not out there, we haven't really game planned. He's like, Devin, we're going to be good here. We're good here. And I think that forces the team to make decisions because it now impacts other players. Obviously, right now, it's the offseason. They have time. But I just think when guys get out there on the field, they're itching to get better. Their coach is talking about how they got to get better each time they take the field. And you're like, but we're not taking the field at full strength. We're losing out on the opportunity to get better. So I just think that is one of the key things that impact how it impacts other guys, especially when you have guys in the secondary, offensive line, like quarterbacks, receivers, those things, it's predicated of working together and working out those kinks. So I think they're going to have to figure out the Gonzalez situation sooner than later.
It's a great point, Devin, and I'd never thought of it that way. When a player holds in, the impact that it has on the other players who are thinking, hey, team, why aren't you doing what you have to do to let us use our teammate and let us get ready to play? We need this guy. Now, I think from the player's perspective, the one who holds in, it's got to be awkward. It's got to feel weird. It goes against everything that you're wired to be as a football player, to be there and not practice. And it would probably be easier to just hold out than to hold in, because there has to be moments where you just feel like you're the outcast, but you're choosing to be, but you're still there. But it's just weird. So it's better to just get these deals done. If the two sides want to continue, and they clearly do, Just get the deal done. It's never going to get cheaper, with that caveat of the Patriots are losing the opportunity to have Christian Gonzalez for only $2.3 million this year. And I think they'd probably like to do that. And they're willing to pay him. If the market goes up by next year, so what? No one can take away the fact that we only paid him $2.3 million for his 4th NFL season. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.